with your movies, did you feel like you couldn't choose the right people for you to work with? Because I read somewhere that the thing that made you feel not too comfortable with some of your movies were that you couldn't have the product somehow under your control, that you could at the end say, well, this has something to do with me.
Well, when you're an actress or an actor in a film, you have very little to do with the outcome of the film. Your performance can, a director can take your performance and do anything he wants with it in the editing room. The difference between being an actress and writing a song and performing that song is that you are much more submissive as an actress. You have to, the person with the vision and the person with a real point of view is the director.
So you said that you would like, you should become a director soon. That's what I read that you said.
I would like to, eventually, yeah.
What is it that you had the feeling that the directors did to you and your acting in the movies?
Well, every movie is a different scenario. I mean, there's some movies I'm perfectly happy with the way they came out. In other movies, I feel that the director had a very misogynistic point of view and made my character stupid or weak or killed me in the end or whatever. But, I mean, every movie is a different story.
And which movie is the one that you're most proud of? Or which one do you like best?
Snake Eyes.
And you said sometimes then you're killed at the end, like for example in, what's the name of the movie in English? I don't know, unfortunately, with William Dafoe.
Oh, Body of Evidence.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm. And isn't it like that, for example, if they tell you first in the script you're not going to die, and then suddenly they change everything, don't you have any influence on that?
No. I mean, I can throw a fit, but in the end the director makes the decision.
If you look at how the press and the public received your movies, do you think that somehow they didn't give you the same chances that maybe a young actress from an actor school would get when she performs on her first film?
Yes, I agree with you.
Is it like that you had the feeling that your face is already occupied by something as they know you and that's how they want to see you?
Well, because I'm already successful in another area, they sort of don't give you a chance to grow and make mistakes. You're expected to be absolutely perfect in everything. And if you do anything less than perfect, they can't forgive you for it. You're judged with a whole different set of rules.
Because you were already popular
Successful.
before. And do you think that's in any country like that? Or do you
Yes, absolutely.
Not especially in America.
It's everywhere. Yeah.
And do you think that getting credits as an actress is more important to you than, for example, having another #1 hit record?
It's equally important.
How do you think that it works with two completely different careers, acting and making songs? Do you think that this can cross?
They're two different mediums, just like painting. It's all different. It's a different art form. When you're acting, you're playing someone else. When you're singing, you're playing yourself. So it can't be compared.
What's easier for you, playing yourself or playing somebody else?
Well, they're both difficult, believe it or not.
Why is it difficult being yourself?
Because I think everybody has a hard time being who they are sometimes. It depends. I mean, sometimes you don't want, sometimes it's easier to hide behind a facade of something else than to actually be honest and completely who you are and totally open and emotionally naked.
But you always gave me, for example, the impression as if you would totally just do what you are and what you want to be.
Well, that is something that I believe in, but it's not something I'm always successful at.
You're trying to, but it doesn't always work.
Exactly.
And then you're also playing another role?
Sometimes.
And what was fascinating you with the role of Evita?
What fascinates me is just that the influence, the unbelievable influence and impact that she had on the world at that time, that she had so much political power, that she was a woman, that she came from nothing. She started out as a poor girl living out in the countryside, and that she was smart enough and clever enough to end up where she was. And she also was an incredibly controversial character, and there were as many people that hated her as there were that loved her, and I think she's mysterious.
Do you think that there are similarities to how you lived or what you experienced?
I don't think there's similarities as to how we lived, because I'm certainly not interested in marrying a dictator. But in terms of being misunderstood, yes. And in terms of dealing with people who are jealous of you, and people who are jealous of you and who are afraid of you, start sort of like slanderous propaganda about you, those kind of things I can certainly relate to.
Tell me a little bit about it, because I think...
Oh, do I have to?
If you want to, that would be nice if you would. You had a quite hard time dealing with the press maybe from a little while ago. You just said that you had the feeling people were jealous and they were writing bad things about you. Do you think that something changed in that way? Do you think that the acceptance changed?
Acceptance by whom?
Yeah, by the press, for example, of your work, of
well,
yourself.
First of all, the press has always given me a hard time since the very beginning of my career. But there was a period of time, and it's actually continued for a very long time, since the time that I published my sex book and my record Erotica came out. There have been a lot of incredibly angry and but transparent things said about me. Yes, from that time period. And there's been, in my opinion, an enormous amount of effort put out by an enormous amount of people to try to undermine my contribution as an artist and say that I'm not talented, that I can't sing, that I can't act, as a sort of way to get me to go away, to get me to shut up, to punish me, basically, for being a bad girl. And
why do you think? What do you think they can't cope with what you're doing?
My honesty, my opinions about sexuality, the fact that I am a woman and that I have success, that I have money, that I have fame, and I have fortune, and that I do it on my own. I don't need a man in that respect. I think that frightens a lot of people.
But don't you think, well, this is just a very personal opinion of mine, that I had the feeling that in the last 2 years, or maybe since Bedtime Stories, suddenly lots of people woke up and said, wow, she's doing great stuff, look at her. I mean, lots of friends of mine, and maybe this is not a complete range of people that I can quote, but they suddenly started looking at you differently.
Because they saw me as a survivor.
Maybe. Don't you think that the press sees you as a survivor now and now honors it somehow?
Yes, they've said to themselves, oh, we can't destroy her. Well, maybe we better think twice about it or something, yeah.
And all those bad things that you read about yourself, did they ever hurt you? Or don't they?
Absolutely. Yes.
Although you have the feeling it's not true, why can't you keep it away from you?
What hurts me is not whether it may be true or not. What hurts me is that so many people seem to get so much enjoyment out of hurting other people.
Yeah, but wouldn't you have seen that also when it wasn't in such a big thing, maybe just living in a little city, in a little village, and people hurting each other all the time? Didn't you experience that before?
Yes, but when you do it in an international, global way, when every time you turn on the television, or you read a magazine, or you open up a book, something is said about you, it's hard to put things in perspective.
Is that maybe now, since you released Bedtime Stories, this whole sex thing where you edged on everywhere, you know, and had a hard time, went a little bit